At KSMO Radio, it is the second Tuesday of the month, and we all know what that means. Oh, yeah, we get a visit from our friends at Intercounty Electric. Heather and Vanessa have made their way. They're doubling up on me. You guys can't take me on a single.
You're outnumbered.
I am outnumbered. That I am. Well, first off, ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here. Did you have a good Labor Day?
That extra day off is always a great day. Always a great day.
Yes. You just have to say yes.
That I say to the
I mean,
to
did you
the
smile big enough? It was great. I loved it. No, that's good. I'm glad you guys had a chance to take a little time off.
Yeah, thank you.
Summer unofficially ends on Labor Day. We all know summer's not quite over yet, but we do know there's a lot of things still going on this time of year. You've got all the high school activities going on.
Oh, yeah.
And that's always brings to light one thing that we always want to remind people about Intercounty. You guys actually do presentations at high schools, elementary schools, for civic organizations. I think a lot of people forget about that because they might think, well, I know they do school assemblies. Well, yeah, but they can do it for anybody.
Right. Yeah, we do a lot of presentations, and we've got the safety truck now that they kind of debuted
so
at annual
cool.
meetings. So I think
I saw
we'll
a
probably.
picture of that.
Did
That
ya?
is cool.
Yeah, I think we'll start getting more requests for stuff like that. And
Can
and
we
your
bring
apps.
that and put it on the radio?
I'm not sure how effective that would be without the visual, but
True.
I
Could
mean-
have the guys yelling down from the truck, though. That'd be kind of fun.
they'd be like, "You want me to do what?"
Yeah, just yell. We'll pick it up. But really, there is a unique opportunity for a number of different groups to get educated. Things change all the time. You know, we went from just regular halogen bulbs, and we went to fluorescent bulbs, and we went to CFL bulbs, and you know, it never ends. Well, where's it all going to stop? But people really don't know why. They really don't know why. Some people still are clueless as to why we change the light bulbs.
Right.
know-
Incandescent to CFL and now LEDs.
LEDs, and there's other types of bulbs out there now that I understand that they're making that react more off the earth. Have you heard this?
This is news to me.
Yeah, earth bulbs.
An earth bulb.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm calling it. I don't know what else to call it because it gets powered from soil. So I don't know what kind of soil, and I don't know if you have to live in a specific area to have it work. But
We're gonna go plant some bulbs.
yeah, well, you do, don't you? Do you not bulbs? Do you not plant flower bulbs?
Well, I mean, I don't get much light out of a tulip, but
Oh, it brings light to your day if that tulip is fully blown, does it not?
that's a different kind of light,
Bloom
Stan.
comes. Okay. Anyway, I know, I understand that, but I mean, I guess there's some kind of energy. Maybe they do something in the ground to put the. I don't know what the
I'm gonna
what
Google.
these specifics are and how it works. Anyway, it was just something I came across, and I said, seriously. You know, are we going to bury light bulb and bring them up and put
Earth
them
bulb.
in? I have no idea. Anyway, I didn't read too much into it. so
Somebody's Googling earth bulb right now.
Well, that's good. That's good. Or maybe they can just go outside and start digging in their yard and see if there's a bulb in there. And if they find one and it works, please call us.
Lowe's is going to be calling you when people come in and say, do you have these new bulbs that Stan talks about on the radio?
I'll tell you what, you go there and you got a number of different bulbs to choose from, and you will be confused, trust me, because of the different types of bulbs and what they want to do and the color of the bulbs and bright sunshine, no sunshine, old sunshine, like, you know, I'm making...
Lots of options.
Well, she's on, so unless the microphone's off. Oh, it is off. I'm sorry. Well, Vanessa, I'm sorry. So now
That's
now
okay.
you're hot. There you go. Okay, now you can talk all your heart's little desire. All right, very good. I'm sorry. All right, so it is September.
It is already. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. It is crazy. So, what are we going to talk about today? Because since you guys are ganging up on me, it's got to be something major important. A
Well,
price reduction of 72%.
you can't say stuff like that. Then we're immediately the bad guy.
Well, first off, I don't know anybody that can do a price reduction of 72%.
No, yeah.
No. I'm not. We're kidding about that, all right, guys.
Yeah.
No, but there is some other good stuff out there.
There's some good stuff coming. September is kind of our planning time for October, and that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves. But October is National Co-op Month, and each year we celebrate Cooperative Month by hosting Member Appreciation Days.
You betcha.
Which
Free
are
food.
Free food. Yeah, those are always enjoyable to us. We've got 7 different locations, and we'll be across the service territory throughout the month of October, and we'll be serving lunch at different locations between 11 and 1. That schedule is going to be on our website.
Yes.
Okay.
Later today.
Later today, that schedule will be on
So
our
you're
website.
finalizing the schedule today.
The schedule's done.
Yeah.
Just the actual picture of the schedule. We'll have that up.
Okay.
But your October bill will have a schedule on it. When you get your October magazine, that's going to have the schedule on it. But I want to mention it today because we start on October 1st. We'll be in Rolla that first day of October.
Doesn't give you a lot of time if you don't get the magazine till the 3rd.
Right.
Yeah. So,
I mean, usually
On
it
your-
gets a month before, but occasionally it gets
yeah.
delayed.
Yep. So we'll have ads in the local papers, and there'll be, like I said, the bill note and the magazine, and it'll be on our website, and we'll share that on social media too. But we want to talk about it today because we want you to join us at these.
Absolutely.
They're-
So Rolla's going to be on the 1st.
Rolla's on the first one out of the gate. So if you're in the Rolla area on that day and you want to swing by, you can enter. We're going to have a $50 electric credit at each location.
Where's the appreciation day going to be? Is it going to be at Inter County
Yes.
in Rolla?
Yep. It'll be at the,
Because that's not the case here in Salem.
yeah. No, well, we don't have an
I
an
know.
office.
That's,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yep.
But, you
So
know,
at the-
But it is a pretty large event. You get a lot of people.
It is.
I
Yep.
thought you might just move it to a remote location instead of having all that foot traffic at the office.
No, we've got that side parking lot, and we just
Well, you do.
we just set up out there in the guys' grill, and we pack brown paper sacks full of lunch and set out some coolers, and hopefully we've put in our order for nice weather, so we know it's going to be. We're going to have fantastic days.
Yeah. Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Decent
You
temperatures.
didn't do it through us.
No wind.
No wind.
No wind.
You guys are getting
Just a nice little breeze. nothing that
62%
blows.
relative humidity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
All
Yeah.
those things. Yeah.
Gosh, you guys aren't too particular.
Now Salem's, we talk about Rolla's being first right out of the gate. Salem's is our last out of the month. You
Best
guys,
for last.
Yeah.
right? That was the plan.
That is
Stan.
exactly the plan.
Yeah.
The best for last.
So it'll be the 29th,
Wow, that's really the last of October.
the last of the month. But it's nice being over at the Commons. We have the option to be inside. So end of the month, weather our orders for nice weather are less likely to happen towards the end of the
End of
month.
October, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you have
So-
a chance of it being a little cooler.
It's a little
Yeah.
chilly.
Yeah. But if I remember last year at the member appreciation, I think we had some Halloween treats in the bags.
You did, yeah.
If I remember
The little
correctly.
snack cakes were-
Yes. Halloween treats.
The little spooky
So
themed
hey,
ones.
so if another bonus for being near the end of the month, if we get Halloween treats. Everybody else just gets a Rice Krispie treat. Not us. We get to celebrate
Save the
Halloween.
special stuff, huh?
So hey, eat it or give it to your son or daughter, or even pass it on if you want to. If you don't want that treat, but I think they were really good last year. So I don't
Those
know if
chocolate Twinkies were.
they were.
Ugh.
Well, one was a chocolate treat. One was like a ding dong.
Yeah, cherry
They would
cake.
had the
scary
face
cakes
on it. It
and-
was
yeah.
Yeah.
pretty cool, actually. But yes, so all right. Member Appreciation Month coming up in October.
Coming up in October. That's right. Fall is here.
And you guys do a tremendous job of not only telling people about it, where people come out and visit, but also you really do a good job of getting the word out and then helping spread the good cheer by delivering meals to
Right.
some of the businesses.
To the
It's really,
businesses.
really a nice thing because they can't get away or whatever. But yeah, it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Have
you
Enter
guys-
County come in with 3 or 4 bags and say, lunch has arrived.
Yeah, you
know?
guys are our biggest town that we deliver food to.
Yeah, it's a big number that we delivered to in Salem.
Yep. I think we had over like 900 deliveries.
Whoa.
900
Wow.
meals delivered over here in Salem. But
Wow.
you guys, and we realize these businesses,
for
and
last.
the employees, they can't always get out to go and enjoy that. So it's just a way that we can still
And we
still
appreciate
serve.
that.
Yeah.
We really do. I mean, I know we do appreciate it here at the station because we're kind of on the air at that time. So
Yeah.
you have to not be able. Well, sometimes actually we're in the middle of something, and then as we think of it, I'm like, oh man, it's too late to go out there now. And then
Yeah.
here comes Tony or somebody trucking in with our lunch, and I'm like, Savior is here, man. This is great. No, but it's wonderful. Member Appreciation Day, 29th in September of October. October here in Salem. I meant to say Salem, and I said September. And then the first day in Rolla.
Yep. And
Where
then,
else are you going to have it? You got one in St. James this year?
Yep, we've got St. James, we've got Licking, Mountain Grove, Summersville, and Roby.
Woo.
Big old town of Roby.
Yeah.
They love Intercounty though, and we love our Roby people.
Well, it's good to have a little party down there.
Yeah,
celebrate
We
with
fix
it.
them lunch, and they sometimes bring us treats.
They bring in desserts to share with employees.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong
Good
with
people
that.
over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of good. There's a lot of good people out in this area.
Yeah.
So, anyway, don't miss out if you'd like to get out there, and you're more than welcome to visit while they're out there cooking. They
Absolutely.
love talking.
Yep.
It's a good time. You've got access to a group of employees if you have questions or concerns, or, we talk a lot about if you have an idea or maybe something that's not going well or not working. We want to fix those things. We need to know about them. So when you have a chance, like at Member Appreciation Days, to share that information with us, we may not necessarily be the right person to take care of it, but once we get back to the office, we can get that information to the right person and get you taken care of.
You know who to talk to.
We know who to talk
You
to.
know somebody who knows somebody.
That's right.
There you go.
That's all you got to have. The connections,
It usually
right?
does work. Usually does work. And it is a great opportunity for you to, if you have a picture of something that maybe you're not quite sure, like say, maybe something's leaning a little bit too far. You say, look, I took a picture of this pole. Is this the way it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
I'm sure when you show it to them and it's leaning about halfway down, no.
Oh, my. Don't wait until the 29th of October to show us that. If
Let
that's
us
the
know that
case.
ahead of time.
But I mean, if somebody has something that looks odd,
Right.
they can take a picture of it. They can bring it out there, and then they say, "Hey, this is what I found." They can put their address on it, and then not only can you tell the right person who knows the
show
right
'em.
person, you can actually show them with a photograph,
Technology's wonderful.
or they can share it with you on your phone. They can send it to Heather's phone or wherever Heather needs to send it to, maybe back to the office.
Right. Yep.
And then they can get it to the right person. Again, it's out, don't close your eyes to an issue that might not be correct. The other day, it has nothing to do with Intercounty, but we have a wasp nest that's out in the phone box. Well, sooner or later, that wasp nest can short that phone box out. And if you don't know it, I mean, the nest is huge in there. So if you see something like that around a transformer or something where there looks to be a big buildup of some kind, or you see a squirrel nest in there, you probably want to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Squirrels do have a tendency to get fried.
They cause us
They
problems.
cause a lot of outages.
Yes.
And ants, we've got ants. These new digital meters, the heat from those, the ants really are just attracted to that. So, you might have had a wasp nest in your phone box, but you might have ants in your meter box.
Well, that's very
So
true too.
We got
but-
to tell us about those things so we can
Right.
come take care of them.
And insects will make nests in the most weirdest places
They
that you
do.
can even think of. We had an ant colony that got in our satellite dish out here, and in the cone of it, they made a huge nest.
Oh,
And all of a sudden, one day, satellite went out. I was like, "What the heck going on?" I took that cap off there, and there was a bunch.
it made sense, didn't
Like
it?
5 trillion ants just looking at me like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, you got to get out of there. 3 cans of ant spray later.
You had signal
I
back.
they got to knock all the dirt out. I mean, they had it jam packed. They had a nest. I mean, it was.
They worked hard on that.
They did, and I didn't mean to disappoint them, but Cardinals were playing. What can I say at that time? We had to get them on. But yeah, it was. But you just never know. You can't see them, on an everyday basis. You see 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 ants. You don't think too much about it. But if you sit there and watch them all day, and you see this line continually going in and out of that meter, you have more than just 1 or 2 ants.
Yeah, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. Always be looking for something that might not be always correct. And damages can happen at any time. It can be a limb that comes blowing on just a regular day where there's some wind, and maybe a limb blows down and it's leaning up against a line. Contact Intercounty, let them know.
Absolutely.
Because it can cause a problem. And I know you may think it's just one limb. One limb can cause a problem.
It can, and that limb can be energized, and the limb's attached to the tree, and then you got bigger problems.
Bill or Johnny or Sally wants to climb that tree.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, don't want to do that. So very good. This also, and before we get, I know we got some other stuff to talk about, but this is also yard sale season. Now it's
good
September
point.
and October, and we have the
yes.
community-wide yard sale coming up. And unfortunately, Heather, and we've talked about this too many times, probably even to repeat how many times we've talked about this. Do not nail or screw
Or staple.
or attach to any intercounty electric pole with a yard sale sign.
or any type of sign.
Or any type of sign, but usually this time of year it's yard sales or Halloween sales or
Political
whatever.
signs
Yes,
or-
anything. It is dangerous. Now I know you think it's just one, and they're not ever going to find it. Trust me, that one can be very dangerous to the lineman.
It can. We talk about pole attachments, and it is important to remind people because, first of all, safety. Those guys, their safety gear, they inspect it. Their lives depend on the safety gear that they wear. And if they have to climb that pole and there's a nail or staple or screw or whatever it is, and it compromises their gear, then they're at risk.
Absolutely.
And that is the number one problem with it. But besides that, you're compromising the longevity of that
pole.
pole. The likelihood of it not lasting as long, we talk about strategic planning and budgeting. Knowing when you're going to have to replace poles and how long you think they'll last is difficult enough. And then when you start thinking about the possibility of people attaching things to those poles, you've got holes in them then, bugs more likely to get into them, weather can affect them, then that pole doesn't last as long. And then when you're replacing that, that's extra cost for the co-op.
And the poles are treated, so don't think that they're not treated, but they're treated on the outside.
Right.
So, yes, those outside exteriors may have, in some cases I've seen it look kind of like manila color. I don't know what other color to call it. It's not like a normal aged wood pole, which kind of looks a little bit gray. Kind of has a little bit of yellow texture to it. It looks nice. It's pretty. It's good. Just that's coated. That's treated.
Right.
But once you put that nail past that treatment, and then you yank that nail back out, and guess what?
There's a hole.
There is a hole, and there's a little beetle out there saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going to climb in there and make me a nest. All right,
Start a family.
start a family.
Yeah.
Maybe like Sly and the Family Beatles. Whoever knows what they're... But you just don't want to do it, okay?
Right.
Besides the safety issue. And yes, a lot of times the guys use trucks to go up high. They don't have to climb the poles, but not all cases. Some cases they can't get a truck in there. Guys have to get up there and do
Right.
it the old-fashioned way, with the old spike shoes, and climb up that pole. And they cannot. Well, they can, but you do not want to put some object in there that could compromise them. Be it gloves, be it pants, be it anything, because if they get cut and it's hot, it's still hot. We still got some pretty warm days out there. Sweat, perspiration, water, and electric don't mix real well. And boy, and all it takes is just one freak thing, and we don't want anything like that happening to the linemen. Just
That's
don't
right.
want it.
Yeah.
And we don't want them to get scraped either.
No.
Because if that rusty nail gets out there, you're off to the emergency room, get a tetanus shot.
Yeah.
All extra work for what reason? Because you wanted to put a yard sale sign up? Come on. go get a piece of wood, attach your sign to the piece of wood, and you can put that piece of wood in the ground right
Next to.
by that pole. How about that?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
Or if you have an old for sale real estate sign, which is metal, you can get that and put
Step
that
on
little
those
piece
and
in
put 'em
there,
in there.
and put it right on that and stick it in the ground.
You can. And we don't, it's not just signs.
I know.
We don't want any type of thing attached to our poles. We've seen things like birdhouses and satellite
Deer
dishes, deer
Or
stands.
people playing rose bushes against that pole because it's so unsightly.
Well, because they don't like how it looks.
That's
Stan.
what I mean. It's unsightly.
Yeah.
So let's put this really thorny, nasty rose bush up against the pole so it'll hide that thing. And don't worry about the guy. He can climb over it. Right. Did you ever climb over a rose bush?
Just give
Not
them.
easy.
I mean, you don't want to plant anything that close because if they have to get to it, we don't want to destroy anything. But if they have to get to that, regardless of what you have planted there, it may be damaged.
Yes.
And we don't want to do that. We don't want to upset anybody, but just give space around those.
Right. But let's explain why. There is an easement for Intercounty to
There
have
is.
that pole there and to run that line where they do. That easement gives them X amount of feet around in their perimeter. Okay?
That's right.
So it allows them to do that. Within that perimeter, they have the right to do whatever they need to do to maintain electric service.
And that is our focus. We want to make sure that our members have reliable power, reliable and safe. And that might mean having to get to something that you've tried to block off.
Right.
Including
that fountain you put by the in-ground transformer, which is probably not a real good idea.
Yeah, probably not an ideal location.
But hopefully we get across to you. Yes, we know that they're not the most attractive things. A pole isn't an in-ground transformer. Yes, they paint it green. It's nice. And if you want to put something 10 feet away, put it 10 feet away. Mm-hmm. It won't grow into it
Yeah.
in a matter of a year or two. And then it's not totally like right up against it to where they're going to have to cut all of it out. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to be upset. I guarantee you will be.
Yeah.
Now, some people have actually put fences around it, and that is okay as long as there's area that they can get in there and work,
Space.
but
And
not
access.
a foot away. That's not going to work.
Well, you
Don't
gotta-
tell me because you put a gate on it that works.
You got to be able to crouch down in front of it and work on
Well,
it.
yeah, or they got to lift it up, take it off, and then you don't know what all's in there, to what angle they have to maneuver to make the repairs. So, anyway, again, not trying to scare people off about that, but poles are very important safety-wise. Your transformer box is very important safety-wise. Always call 811 before you ever dig to put anything in the
Absolutely.
ground, first off. But do call 811. Especially those underground transformer boxes, because there's a lot of lines that might be heading out in all different directions off that box. So please do that. Do not cut a line. It can be very hazardous to your health, but it can be very hazardous to somebody else's health as well.
That's right.
Gosh, we are like PSAs today.
I know.
Yeah, this is just so good stuff. Anyway, well, we have more good stuff.
We do. I want to talk about a couple of things since we're getting into fall. Duct care, filters, and I know we talk about
Everybody
this.
likes ducks.
They do. I mean, they're cute, aren't they?
They are.
But
Oh, you mean duct as D-U-C-T. Oh.
yep. So
I got
Little
confused
quacky
there
ones
for
are neat
duct.
too,
Yeah.
though, but yeah.
So
They
in
are.
fall's a good time. Hopefully, you're checking those filters frequently. You're checking those every month. You may not have to replace them that often, but if you can get in the habit of checking them, you're going to make sure that your system is running efficiently as possible, which helps lessen how much you're using, and that's always a good thing because that less usage means lower bill, and that's always good. But also, you're reducing strain on that system, which prolongs the life of your heating cooling system, and that's always a good thing too.
That's a great thing. If you have pets, usually you need to change those filters a little more often.
Yeah.
Or if you have children that are scamper through the house. We all know
In and
most
out,
children
in and
are
out.
just sitting there studious at the kitchen table doing homework all night long. But there are a few that like to tend to get out,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Run around.
and get out there like like Pigpen and come back in, and you can kind of see the hover of dust off them after they're playing ball all day and are out there playing around. Anyway, or football maybe right now out in the backyard. They come back in and they're just
Dusty.
as soon as you touch them, you see dirt and dust fly in the air. Well, that's going to end up in your filter sooner or later and start clogging up and then work harder, like Heather says.
Yeah.
So if you have external intruder to your filter, such as pet hair, dirt, maybe different things. If you have an issue in your house, even a smoke detector, when smoke detectors go off and you see how smoky your house is, and then you watch your system come on and you'll see that
Filter
smoke
through.
eventually erode, that's going through your filter. And guess what?
It's clogging your filter.
It's clogging your filter.
Yeah.
Not totally, but it's making your system work harder.
So if you haven't,
I'm done.
that's okay. If you haven't been checking those, make sure before you switch over from your air to your heat. We're kind of in that time of year where we've got some cool mornings.
Cold morning the other morning.
Yeah. But some
Were you
hot
outside at
afternoons.
37?
No, 42 though.
Oh,
I was up when it was
37 the other
42.
morning out in the country here.
It was a little chilly. But
That'll wake
definitely
you up.
Yeah.
make sure you check those before you switch that system over and start using heat instead of air. And with the ductwork, fall's a good time to check things like that off of your to-do list because it's not hot.
Right.
You've got some cooler temperature. You can get it done before the cold weather comes in. But you want to make sure that ductwork's all tight. It's connected well, especially if it's in a crawl space, particularly if it's a mobile home because critters can get up underneath
yeah.
there really easily. And
They like to divert.
they
like to
yeah
warm, too,
they
the
want
other
to
time.
they want conditioned air down there.
I guess.
But that is going to cause your system to run more because you've got extra just blowing out in that crawl space. And you want that in your home. So if you can have your ductwork inspected, make sure that's all good and tight. You're going to appreciate having that done before winter sets in.
Absolutely. That's good. And to go with that, as we normally talk about this time of year, it's also a good time because it's still warm enough to put caulk in and check around your doors and put that insulation in.
The weather
it's
stripping.
not 107 in the shade. So when you're out there and you put your first squeeze of caulk out there, you're not sitting there just sweating like a banshee. You're actually getting things done. You can get that done, smooth it all in, make it look good. Just make sure that you have that temperature above what it says on your caulk. Most of the time, I think it's 55 degrees.
Yeah.
And just make sure you do it at that temperature, but preferably about 65 to 70, a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. And fall's a good time, like you said.
Fall's a
Good time to
great
do
time.
it. That to-do list that's been kind of nagging at you, take care of it this fall.
Or you can take care of it this summer yet because summer is good for another
Well, we got
11
another
days.
week and a half or
Yeah,
so.
11 days. And right now, look at the temperatures. We're talking like 65, 70 degrees.
Perfect day for it. Yeah.
Get out there.
Yeah.
And you can find caulk at all your local
Retail.
hardware stores and in some of your other box stores out there. They have some caulk as well. And try and get all weather caulk. Don't just make sure you get exterior.
Yeah, if you're going to be putting it outside, that's going to be important.
Might be a good idea to do exterior.
And the weather stripping around your doors. If it's daytime and you're inside and you look down the hallway and you can see some light kind of around the cracks around your door, pretty good indication that weather stripping has lived its life and needs to be replaced.
Absolutely.
So,
Something a lot of people don't think about is the seals on your garage doors is another
Yeah.
place to get a lot of cold air in.
I have my seals checked. Matter of fact, I had my seal changed out, but I have a crack in where my garage is. There's a crack in the middle, so it actually is lower on the one side. So I actually had to put a liner down, actually like a
Oh.
little bump, so that the door would sit level.
flush to
You
the...
get unwelcome
flush.
critters in there if you
Well,
don't do that.
yeah, you get a few of those Mickey Mouses in there,
Mices in there.
but I have it now where it is sealed, and and he came and changed out my seal on the door because it had a rip in it, just like you're talking about. They will eventually tear, and the same thing underneath your door. If you have one of those
thresholds.
like hollow rubber
Yeah.
insulators there, sooner or later they're going to rip, and eventually they're going to rip all the way across, and it looks like it's still there because it looks
They get
you can
hard.
look
Yeah,
down.
you can see it.
Yeah.
It's there, but it's not doing the job. So if you have a question like that, go to your local hardware store. There's other hardware stores, or go online, and you can more than likely, I say more than likely because some things now aren't made anymore, find a replacement. Maybe just the rubber replacement you can slide in. That's the best way.
It's the
But-
easiest, huh?
But you may actually have to go replace the entire thing on the bottom of your door. Now you say, well, that's gonna be a lot of work. You know how much money you might lose over a winter
Yeah.
and a summer by air coming under that door or going out to the outside?
Yeah. You want to keep the conditioned air inside.
Yeah. So I mean, but think about it. Just check it, and then you'll know. And then, I mean, there's a lot of handyman services around there if you don't want to tackle that job. But you can, like I said, with today's internet stuff, if you want to find out if there is that insulation, you can slide on the bottom of your door.
Yeah.
I'd take a look at it. And then also, like you're talking about, around the outside of the door, there's a number of different types of insulation, all the way from, like rubber you might have, or felt. You can get both of them. Do you remember when felt gets wet? You don't want to have that too much on a door that's going to,
froze.
if it's underneath a deck or a patio, great. But if
Yep.
it's right always when like I said, to the west where the rain always comes in, you may not want to get that felt.
Not going to be
In
ideal.
case, and if you have no overhang, it's going to get wet, and
gonna
you're going to
get
be
froze.
you're going to be replacing that felt in no time. So, anyway, but there's a number of different ways, and we're not trying to slight anything with Aaron County does. We're just trying to help you save money.
Absolutely. You know, when we talk about fall coming into winter, something that we wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to let Vanessa take the lead on this one. We think about generators, and generators are one of those things we've talked about before, Stan. They're kind of like an insurance policy. You hope you don't ever have to use them, but it's nice to have should you need to use them. But the thing with generators is there's a safety aspect to that, and there's some safety equipment that needs to be installed, and we want your equipment to be protected, but we want the crews out working on the lines in case of an outage to be protected too. So I'll let Vanessa tell you some
Thank you.
information about our GeneraLink program.
Basically, a GeneraLink is a manual transfer switch, but it is semi-automatic. This is just a little device. It goes in behind your meter. You will notice it will make your meter stick out, 6-8 inches more than what it is now. There's an outlet on the bottom that you'll plug the cord into, and you'll plug the other end into your generator in the event of an outage. We use the GeneraLinks typically on our smaller generators. That's not like your whole house size generators. Usually anything under
Like a
about
Generac would have its own
Right.
two-way transfer switch.
Yeah. Typically, a lot of times people will install those with the automatic transfer switch to where if you have an outage, that just automatically kicks that generator in. GeneraLinks, typically, we put those in if it's anything smaller than a 10,800 watt generator. And some people like the words plug and play. They're kind of a plug and play type of unit. What happens is you have an outage, you just turn off all the individual breakers in your house. You leave your main breaker on. You'll go out to the pole. You'll pull the rubber cap off of there. We'll just pull it loose. You don't want to pull it off. It helps weather protect it. Plug the GeneraLink cord into the GeneraLink side and then into your generator and start your generator up. And then you're able to turn on the breakers in your home that you would like to be able to use.
Okay, let's
For
go back.
instance-
Let's take that first step.
Yes.
Turn off
Yes.
all the breakers. Did you hear me? Did you hear Vanessa?
Yes.
Turn off all the breakers. Do not go out there the second that your electric goes out and whack that thing in that GeneraLink and crank that generator on with everything on, because there could be a little bit of a problem.
Yes. You're going to be starting that up under a load, and it's not going to like it very
It's
well
not
at
gonna
all.
like it at all. Okay. So,
Yes.
and for safety's sake too.
Yes,
Shut
yes.
all of your breakers off.
And that is the nice thing on the GeneraLinks. They are very safety driven. They're safety oriented. Global Power, when they produce them, they will not kick on. You might think you've got a problem with your GeneraLink, but you want to go back through your steps, make sure everything's plugged in properly and set up right. It will not kick over to your generator if it is not all plugged in properly in the line.
Very good.
So, yeah.
Safety oriented. So they've taken
Yes.
a lot of precautions for you.
They really have. They've got kind of a genius little item. It does all, like I said, all the switching inside there. it's not like you don't have to go out there now, and some of the old double throws, you have to go out there and throw that switch, and if it doesn't
yeah.
make good contact, then you're
just-
going to only get partial power. It's pretty easy use.
So Vanessa, let's go through the steps again. So
Sure.
the lights go out. My favorite TV show goes out.
Oh, no.
And all my dinner on the stove, on my electric stove, is just now it's just sitting there. And then, but I have a generator that I can plug in to help me through that.
Yes.
Probably not the stove much, but maybe all the lights and the
Yes.
TV.
Yes.
All right. So let's say the lights go out. First thing, your lights are already out, guys. So it doesn't hurt to go turn off your breakers because they're not on anyway.
You're not losing
Yes.
anything.
You're
Right.
not losing anything. So you turn the breakers off.
Turn
first.
off all your individual breakers
Then
and
you're-
leave the main on.
Leave the main on. Next step.
You're going to go get your generator out and your cord. You're going to take it out to your meter base. I typically tell people to stick their hand on the glass of their meter just to hold it steady, because you do have to put just a little bit of force behind that, and you'll hear it click in place.
Okay.
And then you plug it into your generator and you turn your generator on.
Is this a lock click where you have to push a button to get it out?
You'll
Or-
have to pull a collar back, kind of like with
Okay,
an air hose.
So, okay,
Yeah.
so there is a lock
There's-
mechanism.
Yes, there's a
Okay,
lock
very good.
mechanism there.
Okay.
And it'll only actually plug in there one way. There's a post and a slot. The post on the unit and a slot in the cord. It'll only actually go in there right one way. You definitely don't want to force it. And then plug it into your generator. But with that being said, anything that you have on your property that runs on that meter will now run on your generator unless you turn those breakers off. For instance, if you have a barn that has tank heaters in it that you don't feel like you need, or an old refrigerator out there that's going to run, or an air compressor, if you don't want to run that during the outage, you're going to want to turn those breakers off, because
And people,
everything
when they
running
go-
through there will run on your generator.
I'm sorry to
That's
interrupt
okay.
you, but I was saying, but people don't have to turn back on all their breakers either.
No, they don't,
Once they
yes.
get started, because maybe they're all going to be in the living room. Why turn it on in the bedroom? Why
Right.
turn it on, in that back family area, or maybe
Right.
it might even be the guest room? Why turn it on there? Just turn it on where you need to be, right?
For the most part, we have a tremendous amount of people that live out in the rural America where they have a well and not have real water or city water, and that's a lot of the people we have that want their generators. They don't have
Sure.
any water if they have an outage, so they'll put that in there. So yeah, that it does make it very handy. They're able to turn their water on. Sometimes, depending on the size of your generator, you may have to alternate a few things, like run your well pump for a while, run your refrigerator for a while, depending on the size of your generator. You don't necessarily have to have a great big generator just to do your bare essentials in an outage.
Right. But as long as you keep your refrigerator door and your freezer door closed,
There you
it'll
go.
stay cool for quite
Yes.
some time. So don't,
Yes.
when the electric goes out, don't stand in front of the fridge. Open both doors and say, "I wonder what I
Wonder what I would like to
eat."
have.
And
Let
then
me look
start
at
laying
all
in
of
there
this.
for like 5 to 8 minutes, and
Yes.
and nothing's cooling at that point. Trust me. You don't want to have that done. And
Yes.
and you are right. A lot of our people who are out in the sticks a little bit, where they do have to have their pump, obviously, to get water. They got to have it activated. The only way to do it is a backup generator.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, strategize it, and think about it before it ever happens. Don't wait. We always say this, so I'm not saying anything we haven't said before. Don't wait till it happens to try and figure out what you want to do.
Right. And don't wait till the day before an ice storm to call us, because the
What?
guys won't be able to get there that quick.
Well, that was my next thing. Now, the Generalinks before COVID were a lot more accessible.
Yes.
You could get them fairly quick.
Oh my, yes.
Now, post-COVID, that has been a bit of a different story, hasn't it?
Used to, we could order them in and have them in about 2 weeks pre-COVID. After that, we're looking usually at 6. We've had times it was even 12 weeks before we got our orders in. So yeah,
Has that gotten better?
it has gotten a little bit better.
Okay.
We try to keep quite a few in stock, but I know we had one year where they were calling for a big ice storm, and I had about 25, 30 units in stock, and we had about 30
40.
people call.
Yeah, 40 people called, and then they were
Yeah.
fighting for them. Then the bidding
Yeah.
war.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, it kind of made a lot of money.
Well,
Oh,
and
no,
different-
we
when
first
I-
come, first serve on it.
different generators have different cords.
Yes,
So what
we
we
have-
have in stock may not work for what your generator needs. Like Vanessa was talking about, that locking mechanism.
Yes.
We have to have one that fits your generator,
Sure.
and sometimes that means we have to order those.
Yes. And then there are some generators that are non-compatible with a GeneraLink. You have to have a 120, 240 outlet on your generator. Otherwise, you're not going to get power into your home.
Yeah.
There are a few that the entire panel is GFCI protected. For whatever reason, they won't switch over. Your individual outlets on your generator can be protected, which they are, but there are a few of those that, for this reason or that reason, they are on the non-compatible list.
Wow.
And if you have questions, I have a list that has
I was
probably
gonna
about
say.
3,000 or 4,000, maybe more generators on the list. I can check it
There's
out
a
for
lot
you.
of generators out there, and
Yes.
you guys have all the knowledge about which ones work, which ones don't. As you
And
mentioned,
if not, I can contact Global Power and they can tell me themselves, yes or no.
but as you mentioned, there's a different GeneraLink for different transformers.
Yes.
I should say generators. The transformers in there have to work with your generator. That's all. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it doesn't work, then don't get the GeneraLink if it doesn't fit your generator. Say,
Right.
I'm going to go buy a generator to fit my GeneraLink. No. Doesn't work that way.
Yes.
Because what if that generator has been upgraded and now it's different?
Yes.
So now you got a GeneraLink and it's not gonna tie in with your generator. Do this. Go get your generator. Then call Vanessa or any of the wonderful people in Intercounty and say, hey, I've got this. Can I get a GeneraLink? And they say, absolutely. We'll have to probably order it for you. Maybe they have one in stock that's perfect for you, but don't expect that, okay? They order for you. All before, we always dread ice storms.
I know.
things
That's
of
Ice
that nature.
storms,
But
wind
we're
storms, yeah.
good 2.5, 3 months away.
Yeah.
So if you want to order one,
Now's a great time.
there it is.
We can,
What a sales
a lot
pitch.
of it lies on your shoulders. Once we get the call, I send you out the agreements. Once I get those signed and back in the office, it doesn't take any time at all. I get the unit together, send it to the serviceman, and when the serviceman's able to get it in your schedule, it only takes them about 30 minutes to install them.
Simple.
It goes back to, we talk a lot about letting Intercounty be a part of the planning process when we talk about engineering services and building a home, but it's important in this situation too. If you have a generator, it's because you anticipate you would use it if the power was out. If you have one and you know that you're going to use it if the power's out, please do not wait until the Friday afternoon before the weekend forecast for storms. You got to let us be a part of that planning process.
I
Yes.
just don't understand that.
Yes.
I know.
And
man.
not every situation requires a generator. For instance, if you just have a refrigerator and a freezer that you need to use, you don't have anything else in the house you're going to need, you're on rural water, you can simply run an extension cord to your generator. You don't
Sure.
have to have that GeneraLink, but if you plan on using anything in your home that is hardwired, the safe way to do it is with that transfer switch.
Well, and really running an extension cord that long for any long period of time is not
Can be dangerous,
recommended,
yes.
okay?
Yes.
So if it's a couple hours, 3
Right.
hours, 4 hours, not a big deal. If you have a 300-foot extension cord that's going out to your well, and you have 15 different connections to it, probably not the best solution to your problem there. But I wanted to add something else, though. Now we have a lot of people who are building new homes.
Yes.
And we've talked about this before, where Intercounty in the past has gone out and they can actually do an assessment of your home and tell you to get I don't want to ching anybody, but a Generac backup system for the house that you can, at the time that your house is being built, which makes it real easy, that they can associate to the different parts of your circuit box where you want it to go. So you might get a Generac that has 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 capacity because you want your freezer that's going to stay on with all the deer meat in it. You know, you may want, you maybe have somebody who's incapacitated that has to be on medical backup that always has to be on. Different things of that nature. Maybe they have a big man cave that they want to keep powered all the time for football with their 27 TVs going all the time. Well, whatever it might be, though, at the time you're building a home, that assessment to your home is easy.
Right. That's a good time to let your contractor
Yes,
know
it really
you're
is.
wanting to do this, and they can
Right.
help you with the planning of
Right,
that.
and then they can even contact Intercounty. If you're right there, they can come out and they can say, yeah, I would recommend this, and they can do it by the size of square footage, what you're going to put on it, the load. They do a lot of good stuff for you, and the cost of that, free.
Dan's favorite price.
I love free. It's great. Now, if you already have a pre-existing home and you want to do it, they can still do that. They can come out. Now, Intercounty is not going to install that Generac or the transfer switch, etc., but they can help you determine the size you need for what you want.
We don't do so much of that anymore. Most places that you're going to purchase the generator from, they will be able to
They can.
accurately
They'll
help
tell you.
you determine what size based on what you need. But absolutely use us as a resource
Well, right,
and contact us.
You
We
guys
wanna-
have a list of stuff that they can help you. I mean, even
Yeah.
if the engineer can just call and say, you're probably going to need about this size.
Yeah.
They'll actually have to come out to your house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
measure, the
Yeah.
tape, get out there and say, oh, yeah. Just make sure that it's actually you're 12 foot by 8 foot. No, that's 12 by, that's 12.4. Man, that's going to take another 1,000 units of power.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to do that. So
Yeah.
anyway, but they're a great resource to get the information you need. Use them
Yes.
Absolutely.
because their services cost you.
Nothing.
I guess they couldn't see that. Nothing.
Yeah.
But GeneraLink is a great thing to have
Yep.
if you have your own generator. And I would say that years ago they're easy to get. And they may still be easy to get, but it may take a little time.
Generators are typically an easy thing to get unless you're in the middle of a disaster. Then sometimes they get in few and short supply.
This
But
is
yeah.
the time of year if you want one to
Yes.
That's why we're
Yes.
talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly
I know. It's
why.
kind of
I
like
never
we
thought of
planned
that.
it, right?
get it. No, you guys are shocking. This is great.
There are fees. We would really love to be able to say Generalinks are free, but Stan's favorite word, but there are fees involved with them.
It's a monthly fee, right?
There's a monthly fee. If you just want just a standard unit, they are $9.95 a month. If you want the unit that includes surge protection for your home, some people think when they see that with surge, they think it's for their generator, but it actually is for the home. What you consider like your white goods appliances, your washer, your dryer, your stove, your refrigerator, your freezer, those bigger appliances, is to help those anytime, not like necessarily
Right.
when you're on your generator power, is to help surges to not damage those motors where they break down the longevity that much quicker.
If you want to get one, I highly recommend you get it now.
Yes.
Order it now.
Yes.
Call Vanessa, call Intercounty, tell them, hey, I heard about this GeneraLink program. Explain it to me, Lucy. And they will be more than happy to do that.
Yes.
And give you all the details about the monthly cost, the
Yep.
size, the different sizes that might have to be applicable to your generator, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the neat thing. You will have it in case you need it 3 months from now, when we all know.
Yep.
But, when Santa comes, so do the ice storms. So does the snow. So
Yes.
and it not necessarily means an ice storm. There can be an accident that take a pole down, and you
That's
might be
right,
without
yeah.
electric for quite some time, especially in the winter, because guys may not be able to get to it for a while, depending upon the weather conditions. So please, if you want to have that, it's a great, like Heather said earlier, it's a great insurance policy to
Yes.
have. And it's not that expensive, and it does work.
Yes.
Like
they
most
do work
insurance
very well.
policies don't even work.
And it keeps everybody safe, which is
Yes,
the
it
most
does.
important part.
And warm if you want that to
Yes.
happen. So please use that wisely and getting things done in a timely fashion. Don't wait till the hurricane hits to find out I needed wood for my windows.
A little late.
Not a good time.
That's a good bad time.
Not a
Yes.
good time when the wind's blowing and you're trying to put that piece of plywood up there. Second floor gets a little dicey.
Yes.
But you,
Yes.
you definitely have the opportunity right here to get in touch with Intercounty and get it ordered. If you need to order, maybe you might have that one in stock. It'd be
May very well
wonderful.
have 'em in
It'd be
stock.
fantastic.
Yes.
But if it's not, get it ordered now and have it in before. Well, maybe Thanksgiving. Maybe it'll be in by Thanksgiving. You can all have a big Thanksgiving party and celebrate your
Your GeneraLink.
GeneraLink. Show everybody when they come over for
Sure, yeah.
Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, look, I'm going to show you my GeneraLink.
What are you thankful for? Yeah.
Yes.
You got to do something between football games and meals. You
Yeah,
probably need to
eat.
get up and walk. So, but it's a great thing to have when
Yes.
you need it. And I said, people say, "Well, I don't know if I'll need it."
You don't
Well, you
know
what?
until you need
never,
it.
You never know.
Yes.
You never
Yeah.
know. You know, we sometimes miss those storms, but they hit somewhere.
Yeah.
And it could be your house next. Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And also call on the double throws, because yes, you can get a big generator for your house.
Mm-hmm.
You can get that done right. Make sure you do that. And call Intercounty if you have a question about
It's
that.
a really good idea on the double throws to give us as much time as you possibly
Oh,
can.
yeah,
Those
but
those
are high
a little
demand. Yeah.
high demand
Yeah,
and shorter
hard to get.
supply.
They're
Yeah.
hard to get. I know when I got ours out there, they were, I think it was 3 weeks at that time, and it was.
Oh, COVID has made it even worse.
Well, no,
We're sometimes looking at months and months
Well,
before we get
I'm
them
talking
in.
about the 90s. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they were available, and they last a long, long, long
That's
time.
part of what has made it so much better with the Generlinks being available. The smaller generators, we can use Generlinks on those because COVID did really make it hard for us on the double throws. It's really hard to get them in.
Yeah. And if you have a small generator, you really don't want to get double throw anyway.
And they're
That's-
pretty expensive
Yeah,
anymore.
they're not
yeah.
cheap. And
Yeah,
they have
they're
to be
really expensive
And they got to
now.
be permanently mounted somewhere. And
Yes.
they're usually a little bit bigger than the Generalink,
Yes.
about 4 inches coming off your meter.
For instance, if you sell your house and you move 5 miles down the road, we can move that Generalink with you. Just
There
send
you
the
go.
service man out, he removes it, takes it to your new location, and installs it. As long as you're on us.
And as long as you didn't sell a generator with the house.
Yes.
If you did that, you may have a different generator when you get to your new house. So,
Yes.
very good. So who do they call to get all this done?
They can call me. That's usually who the calls end up going to on Generlinks.
What's your number, Vanessa?
We are 866-621-3679. I'm at extension 1281.
She
Or in the
knew it.
member services
Or if you say
department.
Generalink or anything about a generator,
It's going to go directly
It's
to my
gonna go to her.
extension.
All right, well, very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Extension 1281.
Yes.
All right, very good. Good stuff. Is there information about this on the Smart Hub?
We have information on our website. We have
Oh,
one of our
website.
brochures on there, and it gives the pricing. Like I said, the standard units are $9.95. The units with surge are $2 more. They're $11.95.
So
or
if you want to
$3
do
more.
some research, go to
$2.
IECA.coop.
Yes.
that's right.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yeah. Good job.
Co-op trivia.
What can I say?
His
I've done
head
this
just
for a year or two.
inflated.
Yeah, it's not inflated that much. All right, great. That's fantastic. That's good stuff.
I've got a couple other things real
Sure.
quick that I just wanted to mention before we wrap up. Just a reminder that we do have an economic development team at the co-op. So if you own a business or if you've been thinking about starting a business, please reach out to us. We may be able to help you with some grants or some loans, and maybe even just put you in connection with the right people. So don't forget about us as a resource, like we were talking earlier. Give us a call if that's you.
It's some excellent options.
There's some good options,
Excellent
and it
options.
might be something even just as simple as you're going to be replacing your lighting, and maybe we can get you some business lighting rebates, and that's one of those things we got to be part of the conversation because we've got to come out and do an audit
Sure.
of the existing lights before. So just don't forget that Intercounty is a resource for more than just providing you with electric service to power your home and paying your bill every month.
And don't think, well, I need a loan of $800,000. Yes, they can actually possibly get that for you.
We could. Yep,
They have a
this-
revolving loan fund for
Uh-huh.
smaller loans, and then they have the
The red
CDBG grants that they can are loans and they can help get, and that's a little bit more on the
Right.
higher.
And it
cost
may
side.
just be some grant research and, like I said, putting you in contact with the right people at the right places. So if that's you, if you're a small business owner or thinking about opening a business
or expanding.
or expanding, absolutely. Yep. Just give us a call and kind of let us know what's going on, what you're thinking, and maybe we can help you with some of that.
Are they going to have to talk to Tony?
Probably.
Wow.
Probably.
Just start talking baseball.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Open with that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, hey, ask him about his arm. He'll tell you how bad it hurts. But no, Tony's a good guy, and he will give you all the different options and explain to you what you have to do. And they do a lot of the research for you, which is the best part if you're a small business owner, because you don't have a lot of time.
The time.
Sometimes, or you just don't know where to look.
Where to
They've
start.
got all, they've got all
Yes.
this information, and then he can sit down with you and give you your different options, and go with them or don't go with them. But I'll tell you what, the interest rates that you get through Intercounty, hard to beat.
Pretty good.
Hard to beat.
Yeah.
Like 0.
0%
I love
interest.
0. Or if you're in Salem, that's only 1%.
Right. If you're not a member.
If you're not
yeah,
a member.
it's different.
1%.
That's a pretty good rate.
Pretty good rate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't turn that down, and I didn't. But anyway, so very good stuff. Yes, outstanding people, and they will give you more information than you probably need. But then you make the decision on what direction to go, and then they follow up on it. And that's fantastic. Makes it really, really easy.
Yep. A great service. And then the last thing, I shouldn't have closed with this. Just a reminder about phone scams. Please do not give your financial information out over the phone.
We getting more still?
We had a few last month. And did we talk about...
We didn't last month.
Did we talk about the discounted kilowatt hours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I couldn't remember where in the month last month that fell and if we talked about it or not. But those calls are not always the threatening, we have a serviceman on the way, he's going to disconnect your power if you do not pay right now. These excuse me, these scammers, they're crafty, and they are changing their tactics. And the most recent one was, hey, we purchased discounted blocks of kilowatt hours, and we're a co-op, and you're a member, and we're going to pass that savings on to you. So if you would like to buy a discounted block of kilowatt hours, we have that available. Are you interested?
Now we can put that right on your account. Yeah.
No, they're not saying we can bill you. They're saying you pay for that now.
I know that. I mean,
Yes.
you prepay, we'll put that on
Yep.
your account.
Yep. It's a prepaid, and that's the option. And I think it's just important to let people know that what we used to warn you, that we're not going to be demanding and rude and
Sure.
threatening. They have changed their tactics, and they are no longer demanding and threatening. It's, hey, we're a co-op, and we're saving so you can save, and
Isn't
here's
that
this
wonderful?
opportunity. So just be leery. If you ever doubt it, and one of the ladies that called in to report that specific scam, she had said, I didn't think it was right, but I wanted to make sure I called back in just in case it was a promo you had going, because I'd like to take advantage of it. And we were able to tell her it was a scam. She didn't miss out on any deal, and she also didn't give out her financial information. So,
And
Nor
don't
did
call-
she get burned.
right.
And don't call a number that they give you.
Yeah.
Look us up.
Yeah, call us back directly at the number that you know is ours. And that's true with any business. I mean, Intercounties, we're not the only one being targeted. We're not the only one that
everywhere.
scammers are claiming to represent. If you get a call from any business or organization and they're asking for financial information over the phone, hang up and call that business back directly. And if it legit was them, maybe they're different than Intercounty. We talk about how we can't take that payment information over the phone because our calls are recorded, and maybe their business is different. But if you have hung up with them and called them back directly, they know scams are rampant. They're not going to be mad that you did that. And if they had some great deal, you're still going to be eligible for that great deal. But don't give it out over the phone.
Yes. We talk about it all the time, and it does continue to happen. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they just hit you at the most vulnerable time, and you're thinking, well, Christmas is coming up. You could save all this money,
And they know this.
and they know this.
It's got to be working some of the time because they keep doing it, which is sad. So
If they're on a phone and it works twice a day, just think how much money they're making. If they do it twice a day, maybe they get $200 or $300 or $400. That's $600 a day for sitting on a phone. doing nothing.
And they're not
And
going to
stealing
just
from you.
They're not going to just take what they tell you they're going to take. They're
They're
going
going
to
to take as
With
much
the
as they can
prepaid
get.
cards, they do.
Well,
if they
yeah.
make it do that. But
Yeah.
if you give them your bank information, they're woohoo in the back. They're going to have themselves a heyday.
Yeah.
Unless you only have $300 in your account, and they'll take it.
take it all.
They'll
Yeah.
take everything.
So be
So yeah.
be leery, protect that financial information, and we hope to see everybody in October.
Yes.
We'll finish
Yes.
on that. I'm like, we cannot end on phone scams. So we'll wrap back around to the beginning. October's National Co-op Month. We have 7 different member appreciation days. We want to serve you lunch. It's going to be 11 to 1. We're going to have that schedule everywhere. So
Starting
come out.
October 1st in Rolla.
Starting October
Ending
1st.
October 29th in Salem.
That's right.
The best for last.
Best for last.
If I don't say so myself. Vanessa, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Heather, thank you.
Absolutely.
Stan, thank you.
Thank you, Stan.
We
Thank you,
appreciate
Stan.
you guys doing this. It's every second Tuesday. It's our inter-county day. We always appreciate them coming in, spending some time with us. Good information today about Generalink. Thank you for actually walking through the steps. I didn't know there was a process. I would have probably known to shut my breakers off.
Yes.
Shut them off. But before you go downstairs in the basement, that dark basement, please take a flashlight with you to shut them off instead of tumbling, rumbling, and bumbling down those stairs.
Yes.
Not a good thing.
Yes.
But, yeah, I always want to make sure that people do the safe thing, and the same thing with those yard sale signs and political signs. Stay off the poles.
Yep. Find something else.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. for
Enjoy
having
the
us.
rest of the day. It should be gorgeous today. I'm sure you guys will
Yes.
be working outside.
Sure.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
even have windows.
No.
Well, that'll keep you
I
from wanting
know.
to be outside.
Yes.
Anyway, again, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Our friends of Inter-County Electric, every second Tuesday, join us here on KSMO Media. Well, keep it right here, KSMO. We do have coming up very shortly